This is a case, not just any case, it's my case, not yours, mine. And in this case I've got batteries. Oh, guess what I'm doing today? I'm actually working out how I can get all them batteries on the bike. There's 120 of them and I'm determined to use every single one of them. Now, here's one. Obviously that's in a box, so I'm going to weigh that on these scales, because if it's in a box that's allowing for nickel and stuff like that. So 98.5 grams, so we'll say, 98. Hang on, if I can open this with one hand. Oh, look at that, 95 grams. So if we say, or 95 and a half, if we say about 97 grams per cell, yeah, 95 grams, 97 grams per cell, I reckon, and I've got 120 of them, so that makes about 400 kilos of batteries. Now, turn that off. Turn that off. This here is an ammo box, a 50 cal ammo box. There goes my demonetisation. Yeah, it does pick up speech, believe it or not, as it says on there. Look, 50 cal. And in here we have the 70. Is this 70? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can get 70 in one side. Now I'm having two of them. I've actually got two. What I'm going to do is there's going to be 70 in the left hand side, and then there's going to be 50 in the right hand side, making up 120 batteries. If I take off, hang on, if I just take off 2 rows of this, so there's 50. And look at that, the BMS fits in there perfectly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this box here to about there, I reckon, to give a bit of room, bit of play, get some packing in there just to stop anything. So I'm going to put it there, and I'm also going to have some fan. There's going to be an exhaust and an inlet fan which are going to come on when the BMS comes on, I hope anyway. So I'm going to have 70 in this side, which is going to be completely full, just batteries, and then I'm going to have 50 in the other side with the BMS on top of it like that. Obviously they're going to be linked. So I think what I'll do is, obviously nothing's confirmed yet, but if I cut it there, I've got a handle there, and I'll have another one on the other side. There'll be part of this, I think the lid on one of them or the lid on both of them will be extended over the crossbar, and then it'll be welded in the middle, down the middle, and then powder coated black. I'm not keeping these camouflage sort of colour. The lids on these, they come off actually, so it'll make it easier to work on and make it easier to cut. So there's the waterproof box, although it's probably not going to be 100% waterproof by the time I finish, but it will be, because no, it's got to be. It will be. Don't worry. Stop worrying. Don't panic. So that's the state of my battery. So I don't know whether to start actually building the thing now. I could do. I'm not decided. The bike. Yeah, the batteries are going to go either side here. They've got to start here and they've got to end here. But obviously I've got to bear in mind, number one, the shock absorber, because the speed controller's got to go here. I've got to bear in mind the clearance on the shock absorber. And another thing as well, when this compresses, obviously I can't have anything there. You think of the movement on that, so it's going to push that out very slightly more, so I can't butt anything. I've got to leave clearance on there because of the swing of that, because it will push it further out. What else is there? So the speed controller can go here. The batteries are going to come down to about here. I'm hoping and praying that it's all going to fit. But that's as far as I've got at the minute. It's all designing. My original designs, they're out the bloody window now. It's gone. Forget it. So I've had to restart and rethink absolutely everything and write it all down, draw it all out and everything. Yeah, it's getting there. The only other option was to put a carrier on the back, but because it's got full suspension, you can't get the bloody things. The only way I could have mounted it was on this piece here. But that means it'd be out here somewhere, and the structure and the strength that it'd have to be is ridiculous, and I don't really want to touch the geometry sort of thing. I could have had a bicycle thing on the front with a Barbie sticker on it, but no, I don't like I don't like the idea of that. So it's all coming on nearly. I might start building the batteries actually. Shall I? Shall I? Shall I? These are my Lithium 26650 LIA 50 amp. Well, they're supposed to be 50 amp, but realistically 20 amp. It's 20 amp constant, and I know they will do it. Link in the description to my test videos and stuff. I did actually do loads of cycles on these, and believe it or not, they perform better under load than they do under no load or low load. I think at 20 amps I was getting something like about 5,000 something, I don't know, but they were giving 5,000 at a low ampage. So this is obviously one of them, which I'm going to put next to this other one here. $13, $9, $117, $119. Where's the other one? Found it. Yeah, it was in the charger. Well, it was just balancing off. So I've got these 120 batteries here, which is starting to sag my table because it weighs about 12 or between 12 15 kilo. So what I've got to do is I've got to figure out which way I'm going to put them in the battery box, how I'm going to do it, positive, negative, series, parallel, that sort of thing. It ain't easy figuring it out, believe me. If you don't know what you're doing, please don't do it, because things are going to set on fire, people will probably die, the world's going to implode, and then you'll have to go out and talk to people. Because I'm using 70 on one side and 50 on the other, which equals round about 120 to the exact amount, whatever. Because I'm using that, I'm going to split them into two packs, because I'm going to have to join either a parallel. It's going to be a parallel. Is it going to be a parallel line? It'll be a parallel line between the two batteries, or it'll be a series. No, it's going to be a series connection, and then I'll have one connector coming off, yeah, whatever. So what I've got to do, I'm going to split these into two halves, into a 70 and a 50, and then we'll see where we go from there. Scratch that idea, I can't figure out how I'm going to be able to do the parallel series working. I can get 6, if I did 6 parallel, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, so then I could get half of the voltage off the left hand side and then half of the voltage off the right hand side, so then I could put a series link between the two. But I'd have one row of batteries that I couldn't use, so they would have to be a series link, but I wouldn't be able to carry the current over that bank. So I don't know if it's going to be possible. I think I'm just going to have to suffer it and do it this way. It's half and half. Hang on, bit of rethink. I've got blood on my head. I've just head-butted the handlebars right on the edge. And they've got no grips on the end. That was painful. Anyway, I've now got 60 batteries in here, 60 cells. They're not going to be sitting right up against here. They're going to be sitting just a bit inwards. Now what I'm going to do is, I might have to redesign and rethink everything. This is actually, because there's a lip at the bottom here which you can't bloody see. So if I can move this, you can see there's a lip there. So these batteries are actually sitting at the highest point here. Now this is a standard BMS. It's my original one. So I've got some double-sided tape here, which I'm going to lift the. I've got no plasticine because I'm not a child. Oh, I am a child. So if I put that on there to simulate the highest point, like that, and I put the lid on and close it down, and then lift it back up again, hopefully the BMS isn't stuck to it. Oh, it isn't. So, okay, design flaw. This ain't going to fit in it. Bugger. Unless I put it down the side. No, because that'll make these too wide for me. My knees will touch them if I make it any wider. What I'm planning to do is cut it about there. I've got two of these, so I'm going to cut it about there and then have a piece along the top to join the two packs, or the two whatsits. So it's looking like I've got to put the BMS, not use that one. Actually, yeah, I could use that one. Oh, my head. I've cut my head. Have you noticed, lads, when you get old and you start losing your hair, the first thing that hits anything is your head. This is how I've got to have the packs. Now, I put them all in the case, in here, and they're all fitted and everything else. And then I laid them all out, square, like that. Which I can't really show yet, because it's just going to take too long to bloody arrange them all. I laid them out, is it like that? And then I put this across here, and luckily I measured it. That's the edge, and I don't know if you can see, but that isn't going to fit. So it seems that when I put them in there, they've rearranged, they've automatically arranged themselves, and they go like that, which I can't do. It's just slightly, so there's a gap there. They don't actually sit together, which is better for me purely because it'll give it more circulation, more air circulation. So what I'm going to try and do is, if I do the series connections, line them up, series connections, and then do the series connections on the underside, and then put tape across the top to keep them all together, because otherwise they're going to be all flappy. And then somehow do the parallel connections. This is an absolute nightmare. I mean, I've got things like the speed controller doesn't fit where I want it to fit. The batteries don't fit where I want them to fit. I can't put 7 parallel and 5 parallel because I can't get the 6th. I can't get